Before this year ends, God is doing His chosen one. He is restoring what you lost, what was stolen, and what you thought would never return. This Christmas is not arriving randomly in your life. It is arriving with intention, with divine precision, and with a message that heaven has been preparing just for you. While the world sees Christmas as a holiday, God sees it as a reminder of how He steps into impossible situations and changes the entire story. You may feel tired, disappointed, or even numb after everything you've been through this year, but do not mistake your exhaustion for defeat. God often moves most powerfully when His people feel they have nothing left. You didn't imagine the battles you faced. The silent nights, the unanswered prayers, the moments when it felt like heaven was quiet. God saw all of it. There were things you lost that hurt deeply, time you can't get back, relationships that ended painfully, opportunities that slipped through your fingers, and dreams that seemed to die slowly. But hear this clearly: nothing that touched your life escaped God's awareness. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was overlooked. What you call loss, God calls seed. What you call delay, God calls preparation. Christmas itself is proof that God restores in unexpected ways. Jesus was not born into comfort, power, or applause. He was born into struggle, uncertainty, and limitation. Yet that moment, which looked small and insignificant to the world, carried the greatest restoration humanity would ever experience. In the same way, what God is doing in your life right now may not look impressive on the outside, but it is carrying weight in the spiritual realm. God does not need perfect conditions to restore you. He only needs your heart willing to trust Him again. This Christmas, God is restoring your faith where doubt tried to settle in. He is restoring your joy where disappointment drained it. He is restoring your hope where repeated letdowns made you cautious. You may have stopped expecting good things because you didn't want to be hurt again. You learned how to survive instead of dream. But survival was never the end goal, restoration was. God is gently reminding you that He is still a God who keeps promises. Even when the process feels long, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. Sometimes God allows loss not to harm us, but to realign us. There were things you asked for that would have broken you if you had received them too early. There were doors that closed because God saw what you couldn't see. This Christmas is not about what didn't happen, it's about what God protected you from and what He is now preparing to release. Restoration doesn't always come as an instant miracle. Sometimes it comes as peace in the middle of uncertainty. Sometimes it comes as strength to keep going when you wanted to quit. Sometimes it comes as clarity, helping you understand why certain seasons had to end. God restores in layers, and often the deepest restoration happens internally first. He heals your heart so you don't sabotage the blessing when it arrives. He rebuilds your confidence so you don't settle for less than His best. As this year comes to a close, heaven is not looking at what you failed to accomplish. Heaven is looking at how you endured, how you remained standing, and how you didn't lose your faith completely, even when it was shaken. That endurance matters. That faith matters. God honors perseverance, and restoration is often the reward for those who refuse to give up completely. This Christmas is also a reminder that God restores suddenly. The world waited centuries for the Messiah, and then, in one quiet night, everything changed. In the same way, your situation can turn around faster than you expect. One word from God can undo years of loss. One moment of divine favor can restore what took years to break. Do not measure God's power by your timeline. He moves outside of it. You may be entering this Christmas carrying grief instead of excitement. You may feel disconnected from the joy everyone else seems to display. But God is close to the brokenhearted, especially in seasons like this. He is not asking you to fake happiness. He is inviting you to trust Him with your pain. Restoration begins when you allow God into the places you tried to hide. This Christmas, God is restoring your sense of purpose. The enemy tried to convince you that your best days were behind you, that your mistakes disqualified you, that your delays defined you. But God's calling is not cancelled by failure, and His plans are not delayed by hardship. If anything, the fire you walked through refined you. You are wiser now, stronger now, more discerning now, and that version of you is ready to carry what God is about to release. So as you sit in this season, do not underestimate what God is doing quietly. Do not dismiss the small shifts, the subtle peace, the renewed desire to believe again. Those are signs of restoration already in motion. Before this year ends, God is doing THIS, and Christmas is the reminder that when God decides to restore, nothing can stop him. Before this year ends, God is doing THIS, and what he restores with purpose. This Christmas is not only about what you are getting back, but about who you are becoming in the process. God never restores you to your old self. He restores you to a stronger, wiser, more grounded version of who he originally designed you to be. The season you walked through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you. And now, as this year draws to a close, the refining is giving way to renewal. There were moments when you questioned yourself. You wondered if you had missed God, if you had waited too long, or if you had somehow stepped outside his will. Those thoughts did not come from God. Confusion is never heaven's language. God's plans do not collapse because of one mistake, one delay, or one painful season. The same God who orchestrated redemption through a manger is fully capable of redeeming the chapters of your life that feel messy or unfinished. This Christmas, God is restoring your confidence to trust him again. Not the naive faith you once had, but a deeper, more mature faith, one that has survived disappointment and still chooses belief. You have learned what it feels like to pray and wait, to hope and hurt, to stand when the outcome was uncertain. That kind of faith carries weight in the spiritual realm. God values it, and he is responding to it. Restoration also means release. There are burdens you were never meant to carry into the next season. Guilt from past decisions, regret over what didn't work, and shame over what you wish you had handled differently. God is lifting those off you now. Jesus came to bring freedom, not constant condemnation. If God has forgiven you, there is no reason to keep punishing yourself. This Christmas is an invitation to lay down what no longer serves you. God is also restoring your discernment. You see people differently now. You hear differently now. You recognize patterns you once ignored. That awareness is not bitterness, it is wisdom. You are no longer easily manipulated, easily distracted, or easily shaken. What you went through sharpened your spiritual senses. And that discernment is part of your restoration, because it will protect what God is about to give you. You may notice that your desires are changing. Things that once excited you no longer hold the same appeal. That is not loss, that is alignment. God is restoring your appetite for what truly matters: peace, purpose, connection, and truth. Christmas is reminding you that the greatest gifts are not material, they are eternal. And God is re-centering your heart around what lasts. There is also a quiet healing happening in your emotions. You may not be fully healed yet, but you are no longer bleeding the way you once were. Triggers are losing their power. Memories no longer control your mood. This is restoration in motion. God often heals gradually so the healing lasts. What he is doing in you now is deep, not rushed, and not temporary. As this year ends, God is restoring your expectation. You are learning how to hope again without fear. You are learning how to dream again without anxiety. You are learning how to trust that good things can happen without immediately bracing for disappointment. That shift is holy. It is evidence that God is renewing your mind and preparing you for what comes next. This Christmas is also about divine alignment. God is repositioning you, moving you away from what drained you and closer to what will develop you. Some connections faded for a reason. Some doors closed because they could not go with you into the next season. What God is restoring now will be aligned with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. So do not rush this moment. Let God finish his work in you. Restoration is not loud, but it is powerful. Before this year ends, God is doing THIS, and when you look back, you will realize that Christmas was the turning point where everything quietly began to change. Before this year ends, God is doing THIS, and this final phase of restoration is about release and fulfillment. What God has been rebuilding inside you is now preparing to show up in your outer life. This is the season where hidden prayers begin to surface, where quiet obedience starts producing visible results. God never restores you just to leave you waiting. He restores you so you can step forward with clarity, confidence, and authority. You are not stepping into the new season empty-handed. You are carrying wisdom from what you survived, discernment from what you endured, and strength from what tried to break you. Those were not accidents. God was equipping you. Every delay refined your character. Every disappointment strengthened your reliance on Him. Now, what once felt like preparation is becoming activation. This Christmas marks a spiritual closing of cycles. Patterns that repeated year after year are losing their grip. Old struggles no longer have the same control over you. The enemy cannot use the same tactics anymore because you are no longer the same person. God has restored your spiritual authority, and with it comes a new level of peace. You are no longer fighting battles you were meant to outgrow. God is also restoring your vision. You are beginning to see possibilities instead of limitations. Where you once saw walls, you now see doors. Where you once felt stuck, you now sense movement. That shift is not imagination, it is revelation. God is showing you what is possible when you trust Him beyond your fear. This restored vision will guide your steps in the coming season. There is a grace coming with this restoration. Things that used to feel heavy will begin to flow more naturally. Doors will open with less resistance. Conversations will happen at the right time. Opportunities will align without force. This does not mean life will be perfect, but it does mean you are moving with God instead of against the season. Christmas is reminding you that when God is involved, things unfold according to divine order. God is also restoring your voice. For a long time, you may have stayed quiet to keep peace, to avoid conflict, or because you felt unheard. But the season ahead requires your voice. Not one of anger, but one of truth and clarity. What you say will carry weight because it will be grounded in experience, humility, and faith. God does not waste pain, He transforms it into purpose. As restoration completes its work, you will notice a deeper sense of gratitude. Not because everything was easy, but because everything had meaning. You will see how God protected you when you didn't understand, redirected you when you resisted, and stayed with you when you felt alone. That awareness will anchor you, keeping you grounded even as blessings increase. This Christmas is not just an ending, it is a beginning. God is releasing you into a new chapter with a healed heart, a clear mind, and a steady spirit. You are ready now in ways you were not before, and what God restores, He sustains. So as this year closes, stand in faith, expect good, remain humble, stay connected to God's presence. Before this year ends, God is doing THIS, and the restoration you are experiencing now will become the testimony that carries you into the next season with confidence, peace, and unshakable hope.